I'm Autumn Bensett, founder of the Bossy Babe brand, fitness coach, and serial entrepreneur turned intuitive life and business coach. The Wealthy Babe podcast is for the ambitious, courageous, and spiritually charged up woman in network marketing, craving wealth not only in her bank account, but in every aspect of her life. Get plugged in here each week for authentic and unfiltered conversations from myself and industry leaders who are going to support you and give you all the juicy behind the scenes and real talk around business, spirituality, strong points of view, and doing shit differently. This is a safe space to come undone, be heard, and be given permission to rewrite your own damn rules. So here we go. All right. Welcome back to another episode of the Wealthy Babe podcast. Today we have Brooke Allison here, and I am so excited. Thank you for sharing your time and your energy and coming on to this episode.
Yes. Oh my God. I'm so excited. I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Yay. This is going to be so much fun, you guys. I cannot wait to deep dive into this. Brooke is a powerhouse. She is vibrant. She is fun. Oh my gosh. I wish you guys could see her. Go check her out like right now. Pause the episode. Go pause the episode. Go check her out on Facebook. Go find her on Instagram and just like see how vibrant she is, because I wish you guys could see the video here. I need to like throw this onto YouTube or something, or like somehow like, double do this, because it is just so much fun being able to hang out here. So anyways, I'm going to intro her because we have a really juicy episode to get into. So Brooke is a mind shift coach and achievement strategist. She helps badass women level up their confidence, find clarity, and define their purpose so they can create a business and a mindset that is fiercely unstoppable. She helps her clients design a purpose-filled business, master their confidence, raise their prices, and truly mixes mindset and strategy to get massive results. Brooke believes that confidence is the key to everything you want in your life. With clarity, confidence, and strategy, become unstoppable towards your deepest desires. Her mission is to empower entrepreneurs to step into their most powerful selves and live out their soul desires with a business and a life they are obsessed with. She is also the founder of Brooke Allison Coaching and the podcast Fiercely Unstoppable, which is all about helping entrepreneurs become fiercely unstoppable in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire through confidence, clarity, and strategy. Hot damn! Hot damn!
Yes!
Yes! Oh my goodness. This is going to be so good, you guys. I hope you are excited. All right. So let's just jump right in. The first thing that I always ask my guests is, I want you to share, what is one thing you are celebrating right now?
Celebration. So fun. So honestly, the thing that I'm celebrating the most is that my business is about to blow up.
Yeah.
I'm not even joking. It's been amazing. I had like 6 people last week ask me like about my one-on-one program, and then like reach out to me randomly. I had this novel of a testimonial written by a stranger that I didn't even know. And it was like, she just loved on me. And I was like, oh my God, I love you. Can I just keep it in my pocket? My God. It was like,
right?
You guys, affirmations are the key to my heart. So if anybody wants to know, but I had over 430 people sign up for my most recent free course. And like, it was just, things are about to blow up. 600 people on my email list without Facebook ads in like a couple of days. Like, it's just been incredible growth, and massive things are happening.
Oh my goodness. This is so inspiring. It is so good. It is, I was, like I said to you earlier, I was creeping on your page and I was looking at all the things, and I seen your course. And I'm like, this looks like fire. This looks so good. So I'm so excited for you to launch this out into the world. You guys got to go check it out, obviously, now that you know. It is gonna be, it's all about money, right?
Yeah. So I might evergreen it, but we are going live this week with it. So It is, the doors are going to be closing on Friday, and then I get to decide what I want to do with it from there. But it's all about selling out your program and selling out your next offer. So whether you're in sales, where it's like any kind of sales related, network marketing or coaching, just identifying who your client is and money mindset needed to make the money happen, right? And then the confidence. I'm all about confidence. Confidence is my jam. So of course we're going to be doing all things clients, money, confidence, all the fun things.
I love it. These are like 3 of my favorite topics. I love talking sales strategy. I love talking money mindset.
Woo!
This is going to be fun, and I have a feeling that it's going to just like trickle into all of these areas today as we talk. So I hope you guys are ready because it's going to be so freaking good. I want to jump in a little bit for the people who don't know too much about you.
Sure.
And I know you mentioned to me a couple little fun facts about you before we even, decided to jump on and to do the podcast. We were just jamming back and forth in our inboxes. So can you share a little bit about your story of how you went from food assistance to a 5-figure business?
Yes. Oh my goodness. Okay. Well, I'll try to make this a long story short, but I feel like there's important details that need to be said. So I'm from St. Louis originally, and I live in Denver currently, moving soon, but that's at the end of the story. So I went to art school a couple years ago. So I have a BFA in visual art and a photography emphasis, and I have a dance minor. Always been a rebel, always been a breaker of the rules, always wanted to do what I love to do for my career, for my life. And I thought I was going to get a job like that when I got out of school, and I didn't. Joke on me. And so I applied to 5 to 10 jobs almost every single day. I'm not joking. 5 to 10. Every single day. It was a non-negotiable for me. And I applied to jobs for months and nothing came together. So I got promoted and promoted and promoted in my retail job. And I got to the point that I was like, okay, please stop promoting me. Because I don't want to be here. I don't want to be here.
Stop it.
And I just saw so many people come into the retail world who had all these dreams and ambitions. And then they got promoted and promoted and promoted. And then they just stayed with the company. They never left.
Yep.
And I was like, ugh, like that's disgusting. Like, why are you doing that? You have so much to live for. Not that it's not great. If that's your dream, by all means, I'm not bashing it, but that was not my dream. Yes. And I didn't want to be stuck. So so funny. My first ever business I started when I was 22 years old, which was my MLM business. And a friend reached out to me and was like, hey, could you help me with my goals? And I was like, sure. And I listened to the opportunity and I was like, honestly, I could use some extra money. I mean, all my money just went back into the retail store. I'm going to be honest with you. So I was like, yeah, I could use money. But I'm so glad I made that decision at 22 because that allowed me to start dreaming again. And I realized I really didn't want to be in St. Louis anymore. And so I was like, okay, why am I still here? I graduated. I need to get out of here. Let me go live my life a little bit. And so the next thing I know, I'm literally packing up my stuff in a 10x10 truck, moving across the country to Denver, Colorado. That was over 3.5 years ago now. And I moved here originally with my ex-boyfriend. And I mean, he was my boyfriend at the time. Okay, let's just get that out of the way. We were together. We are not. Okay. So with that being said, things were never really great back home. They were never really great. I just thought we had a very dramatic relationship. I just thought that was just the love that we had, and that's just the way it was, and it just is what it is. And so when we moved here, and so many people have. I mean, honestly.
I know. Oh.
And I think when we moved here, I just made too many life-changing decisions at one time. So I quit my job of 5 years. I started a new job. I had a brand new business I had to restart over. I moved across the country. I moved out of my parents' home. I moved in with my boyfriend. It was literally all within a month, like within 2 weeks, really. And so when we moved here, unfortunately, we were isolated. We didn't really know a lot of people, and it escalated to something that was just really unhealthy and unsafe for my well-being. And I found myself being like, oh my God, I just moved across the country with this man that I love. It's 2 times more expensive to live in Colorado than it is in St. Louis, let's be honest, if not more. And I was like, I have to get out of this situation. Like, how do I get out of this? And it was very hard. And I finally got the courage to leave that. And I found a roommate on Craigslist, and I lived, and all was well. And, she ended up being fine and not a murderer. And so I moved out, and I moved in with her, and my confidence was it was just non-existent. It was at an all low. It was non-existent. It was at 0. And I knew within myself that I wasn't living as the person that I was meant to be. And I can't really explain it other than just having that feeling of, this is not really who I'm meant to be. This is not me and my true power. And so from leaving my abusive relationship, I built my confidence from the ground up. And within those next few years, I mean, I was seen as a huge success in my MLM business, but I was still struggling massively. I was in the top 5% and I still couldn't afford my bills. So kind of, I'm going to fast forward this to about just about a year ago, before I found the coaching world, which was probably like, I started my business, this coaching business in July last year. So it's just over a year, but I was working 3 part-time jobs. I've never been a 9-to-5 girl. I've always been like no, I'm going to have 3 part-time jobs. So that sounds more fun. As well as running my business. And it was those things where I had way more month over money, way too many times. Yep. And I was on food assistance. I couldn't afford my bills. And I was on food assistance for about a year. And the next thing I know, I met this woman at the mall. I thought she was beautiful. I gave her a compliment. We exchanged our businesses, and she had a jewelry business. She came over and she was like, "Are you part of these Facebook groups?" And I was like, "What is a Facebook group?"
I love that.
Literally, like, what is that? I don't know. And like, I felt like it was so funny. She's like, "Oh my God, you were going to love this." And she added me to a few Facebook groups. And I don't remember all of them, but one of them specifically was filled with coaches. And I was like, what is this? People make money helping people? What? I can do this? Oh my God. So here's the thing is I had already built my confidence to a massive extreme level. So I went from there to where I am, and I was like, okay, I'm going to start this business. I don't have any money, but I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to make it happen. I'm going to hire a coach, and I'm just going to do it. And that's exactly what I did. And I ran really, really fast, and things grew really fast. My Facebook group grew like 200 people in 36 hours, and then just boom, 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 and just kept growing. And within the first, I think 2.5 months, I had like 20,000 in sales. And the next thing I had 50,000 in sales. The next thing I know, it was just grew and grew. And then, I quit all of my jobs, and obviously, now within my first year, I hit over, 6 figures and growing. And my first 5-figure month, I actually took my mom to Hawaii. Her and I went and fully paid for by my business with my $17,000. My first 5-figure month was a $17,000 month. So it was setting the standards high. And I've always been a high standard setter. And I think that's the key to a lot of this too. But yeah, here we are a little over a year after starting my business, and I'm actually leaving Denver. I'm moving in about 6 weeks. I'm moving home for the holidays, and then I'm traveling full time in February, which has been my dream for over 7 years.
Oh my gosh, this feels like a very full circle moment. This feels like we were talking about when you first moved there, and then now within just how it all is working out, you're moving away from there. Just in the, it's just so coincidence. And I don't believe in coincidences, but it's just literally full circle right now. This is crazy.
What's so funny is a year ago, if you were like, you're going to move home, I would have been like, oh my God. I don't want to leave Denver. I love Colorado. Colorado is one of the most beautiful places on the planet. I'm not even joking. But I have a deep tugging, and I have this just deep feeling that I'm not supposed to be here right now. And I can't explain it other than that. I'm not supposed to be here. So I was like, okay. And it's been a long time away from family, I'm like, it's time to go love on my people. I want to love my people.
Yeah, it's just a season of life that you're in, It's just your intuition's guiding you. And I think we both know, up until this point, you've followed your intuition. You've followed those nudges, whether it's to move in the first place. It was leaving, leaving your boyfriend. It was, leaving starting this business. Hiring the coaches. It's just, you follow the nudges and you get where you're supposed to be, no matter what. And I feel like I'm listening to my story when I say that, because I'm just the exact same way. I'm just burn the damn boats, just do the thing, leave the jobs, do all the crazy shit in 1 month, hire the coaches, have no idea what the hell you're doing. And it all seems to work out in your favor, and it all makes sense, even though it doesn't make sense at the time. When you look back on it in hindsight, you're like, I get it. I 100% understand it, but we could live in so much fear, and we could live in this space of, well, what if I do this and it doesn't work out? What if I do this and I end up by you could have lived in this whole entire space of these what ifs in a disempowering way, but instead you chose to look at them in an empowering way. And it led you to exactly where it is that you're meant to be. And now you're in this beautiful season. And I think this is just absolutely incredible.
For a long time, I don't know why I wanted this. Be careful what you wish for, okay? Because for a long time, I remember I wished for obstacles to overcome because I wanted to be more of an overcomer. And I wanted to, not that I didn't live like hard things in my life. I've had a lot of weird things happen to me in my life, but I also lived a very good life. But I remember wishing for obstacles to overcome. I have no idea why. Why did I want that? Couldn't tell you. It's a great learning lesson. It's a great lesson to remind yourself to come back to who you are and be that person that's like, okay, well, I know that this journey is unfolding in perfect time. And I know that everything is working out for me. You learn a lot when you overcome some obstacles. And I think it's the perfect lesson to either be the victim or be victorious. And we get the choice to be victorious.
I like that comparison. I like that. Yeah. Victim or victorious. I like that comparison. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's so true. We really do have this. We really do. We get to choose this. And I think it's very common, whether it's like, whether you're asking for it and you don't really realize you're asking for it, or it's like self-sabotage mechanisms of like, this has to be hard, this has to be difficult, I can't get there in an easy way, this has to be a struggle. And we like live in this story sometimes of like, we think that, and then we almost accidentally like bring in these opportunities or these obstacles or these things that come our way, and we manifest them in because we believe that to be successful, to have the things that we want, it has to be really difficult and it has to be really hard. And we have to be aware of like, what's the story we're telling ourselves? Like, what are we actually asking and manifesting and looking for? Because we are always getting what we want or what we don't want, but either way, we are manifesting it. We're choosing it every single day with the way that we show up, the way that we speak it into existence. So it's just so interesting that you mentioned that. And I love this comparison because it's so true. We all have circumstances. We all have shit that happens to us. We all have we all have it, but you have a choice. Like, this happened to me or this happened for me, and this happened to make me be the person I need to be to handle what is coming. Like, I'm sure if you look back on it right now, all of the things that you did go through made you to be the person to handle the business that you have right now. And if you didn't go through it, you wouldn't be able to, and I don't want to say you wouldn't be able to, but you might not be able to handle the situations or work with the clients or move through the situations with them the way that you are now if you hadn't gone through those situations in the past.
Yeah. Sometimes we don't always know why we go through the things we go through. And we really might not ever know exactly why. However, what I know to be true, if I did not have my relationship go the way that it did, as much as I wish I wasn't a part of a situation like that, as much as I wish that wasn't my life and I would have moved here and I would have fallen in love and gotten married and would have had all this stuff. But if that never went south, or as south as it did, because it was never really great, let's be honest, if it never went as south as it did, I would not have this business that I have today.
Yes.
Because I would have never had the opportunity to grow my confidence, which is what I started with this business in the first place, was helping people master their confidence. And then I realized I miss helping people start their own businesses and make money and feel empowered and achieve things and, become unstoppable towards where they're going. So I shifted it a little bit.
Yeah, I love that so much. And so I love that we were talking a little bit about money here, and that's kind of what we were talking a little bit at the beginning. And this is something that I love talking about. It's something that you are super passionate about talking about. So I know that I find that a lot of women, whether they're in my group or they're my clients or they're just women that I connect with in my audience, they truly believe that, and I've been here, so I totally get it. I totally understand, but I want to kind of have this conversation for them. It's just that I find that they believe that more money is going to solve their money struggles. So can we have a conversation about this for a little bit? Like, what made the shift for you in this space? Was it more money, or what was it?
I feel like even throughout, it's still a work in progress. Like, let's be honest here. Like, it's still something that you're constantly working on and constantly figuring it out. So, okay, the question is, what was the shift for me for it to not be?
Yeah, like, so I find that women, like, we really, it's people in general, it's not just women, but we all tend to think that if we have more money, it's going to fix our money problems. And usually more money, I find anyways, just amplifies. Like it amplifies wherever you're at. So what was the shift for you? Because it wasn't necessarily probably making more money that changed the shift or made the shift or changed the struggle. There was probably something underlying it that allowed you to make more money that kind of shifted things, if that makes sense.
I don't know if I've ever really truly thought about it in this way, but because where I was financially, more money did change my life.
Oh.
It allowed me to get off of food assistance. I could actually, oh my God, go into the grocery store and not having to check my bank account. Or like this weekend, I was up in Steam, or where was I? I was in Steamboat. Yeah, I was like, where was I? I was in I went to the hot springs up in the mountains, and not being able to not having to check my bank account for anything, and just like that. But that's because I have more money. But I also trust a lot more too. So I think the shift for me is I looked at how I was treating my money, and I was treating my money as if it was always leaving and there was never enough.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But having more money definitely did change my life. I'm not going to say it didn't.
Yeah,
because
because
it allowed me to do things I never thought possible, and I was able to get away from all of the stuff that wasn't serving me.
Yeah, no, and I think that it absolutely can. I can definitely attest to right now that having these 5-figure months and being able to see my business shift into these spaces absolutely makes my life easier in a lot of spaces. But I've also sat here right before I made a massive investment into my coach again, where we were talking about her a little bit beforehand. And so I did invest $30,000 into working with her. And it was just a very interesting experience because in one moment I sat there and I had all this money in my bank account that I had never had in my entire life. And I'm sitting here looking at it. In 1 minute, I felt so incredibly abundant. I felt so incredibly, so wealthy, so able, so capable. I was not living in fear. I was not living in lack. I was not living in this space. And within a second, I thought about this investment. I started going down this rabbit hole of fear. I started going down oh my God, what if it all falls away? What if I'm confirming my old money story? What if? And I immediately felt broke. I immediately felt constricted. And the ceiling was on top of me. And the thing is the money in my account didn't change. It didn't change in that moment. Nothing had shifted. It was just something going on up
in your head.
Right?
Yeah.
It was just going up in here. And so it was the money itself wasn't solving the problem. There was something else underlying. I allowed myself to feel a certain way. And I was either allowing myself to be controlled by it or empowered by it. And so I think just sometimes we think that the more money we have, it solves the problems of I don't know if that's making sense at all, but I totally
sure.
On both ends.
Yeah. It's always about the deeper meaning, right? It's never truly about the money. It wasn't about the more money I was able to take my mom on the trip. It was the fact that I could finally treat her to do something and I could take her somewhere. And that was just incredible to me. It was the feeling that it gave me that I always wanted. And so I think that's the biggest trick is thinking about what is the feeling we're actually trying to receive. So for me, I had to do a lot of work, and clearly I did a lot of work to be able to get to where I am today. But I had to do a lot of work on that and realizing that I was treating money like it was always out the door. And I was like, okay, if I treated my boyfriend, let's be honest, I'm a single cat mom, I'm waiting for Mr. Right to come through my window. But if I treated a friend or my boyfriend the way that I was treating money at the time, they would have been like, see ya, this is crazy. So it's thinking about how you're actually treating money, but also knowing that whatever you are right now, it gets to change. And I think that's maybe because my mindset was already shifted, that I was manifesting this for longer than I realized. And I say that because I prayed about this for months before I found the coaching world. And I remember praying and saying just God, universe, please, help me find something. I know that I'm meant to do something deeper than what I'm doing, and I don't know what that is, and I don't know what to do, but I can't keep going on like this. I am done with the struggle. I'm done trying, struggling so hard. And when I was that broke, when I was in a place where I didn't have enough money to pay my bills every month, I knew that it was temporary. I've known that it was temporary for years, for a long time. I just didn't know the avenue of where it was going to come from, but I knew it was temporary. So my brain was already shifted knowing that it was temporary, and then it was more so like of a course. Of course I signed clients. Of course that happened because I knew it was temporary and I'm amazing. And I had the mindset needed to start this business. So it's hard for me to say what actually truly shifted because I think it was already shifted.
Okay. Yeah, no. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think I think that's a really important point that you mentioned right there. And I think this is what a lot of women struggle with, is that they think that, where they're at right now is where they're always going to be. And I always had this same mindset as well, even when I was like, you know, how much in debt in university, in my old jobs, like all of the things that I was doing in the past, it was like something in me deep down knew like it wasn't always going to be like this. Like no matter what it took, no matter what happened, no matter like if the income dropped and it went back up, if I had a hurdle, if something happened, like I just knew that it was always temporary. And like I had already made that decision. And I think that was a big part of what had made the shift for me, is that I just recognized like this isn't going to be how it always is. But a lot of women get stuck in this space of thinking, well, if it's like this way now, then there's no way. How do I know it's temporary? Like this is going to be how it always is, because this is my story. This is my life.
Well, the reason you know it's a temporary, the reason why you know it's not going to be your life is because you decide it's not going to be your life. And I know I used to hate when people say that. I used to be like, what does that mean? I've decided so many times. Like, why am I not reaching my goals? Like, I get it. I get it. Don't reprimand me. I totally get it. I've been there. But here's the thing. When I was 21, before I started my first business, when I was broke as shit in a retail job, that all my money just went back to retail because let's be honest, clothes are cute.
Yeah, like, girl, me too.
Like
I did the same damn thing.
I like dresses. I remember I was like, oh, I'll be debt free by the time I'm 30. I know I will be. I had just gone to a school, gotten almost $100,000 in debt, something close to that from school, not to mention my credit cards. Like, let's be honest. And then for years, 22 rolled around. I started my business. I moved across country, still broke. 23. I think in 2006, I made $8,000 that year. The whole year. Yes.
I know. I look back on it and I'm like, what I'm making now, like some months, like I was making in a year. What the fuck? Like,
so
it's
going back to, but it's like, hello. But that's the thing, is that you have to know that your current circumstance does not dictate who you are and where you're going.
Yes.
And what you're going through right now is smaller. It is minuscule towards where you're about to be. And sometimes it does take having a breakdown to break through. And I've had lots of weird breakdowns. I'm not going to lie. There has been some weird shit that I've gone through. But I'm like, why is this happening? And the only thing I can say is that, you know what, though? This is happening. Yes. How can I manage my emotions? I know what breakthrough is coming. So I'm going to keep going, and I'm going to stand back up, and I'm going to keep going. Yeah. And that's where that unstoppable comes from, you know, that grit.
Yeah. It's like, and it's choosing ultimately to be the woman you want to be through, you know, whether it's the woman you want to be that makes the money that you desire to make, or being the woman you want to be through the hardships and through the things that go wrong and the things that are hard and difficult and they're not painted the way that you envision them to be. It's who do I want to be through it? Like who do I, like, looking back on in hindsight on this situation, on this temporary defeat, on this moment where my income is not where I want it to be. It's like, who do I want to be through it? And I think that at the end of the day is really what shifts it. It isn't really the money. Like, having more money is like, yes, it will solve a lot of problems in your life. Like, let's be real. It is amazing. It's incredible. But there's a reason why some people will spend money just as fast as it goes. It's about who do you want to be? Like, who do you want to be? Who do you need to be to make the money that you want to make? Who do you need to be to hold on to the money that you want to hold on to? Who do you need to be to experience life the way that you want to experience? Because there are women and there are people who have hundreds of thousands of dollars, millions of dollars, and they're still either miserable or they're running themselves into the ground and they're still feeling broke and they don't feel abundant and they're not actually enjoying life. So it's like, what's the difference, you know?
Yeah. And it's so funny. I was actually thinking about this recently. It's so weird because, like, I feel like maybe I was thinking about this to be able to talk about this today. I don't know. But I was thinking about my life about a year ago. And I chose to stay in that situation.
Yep.
And I chose all of it. So I chose to have the 3 jobs. I chose to be, working. Well, and I believed in myself, and I believed in the first business that I had. I did. And I was very successful. And I mean, I just wasn't making the money I wanted to be making, let's be honest. But I was seen as a high success and a leader in the company. And I chose to apply for food assistance. And I mean, I was so grateful for it. But if I really, really was in so much pain that I needed to change my situation, I could have by getting a 9-to-5. I have lots of skills. People could have paid me tremendously, but I chose to stay in that situation. So I knew I was meant for something more. So it's very interesting. I think, what's funny is that we have to just know that we are worthy of what we truly desire. Because it's really not about the money. It is about the feeling. But I mean, money blessed my life tremendously. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to say it didn't. But I think I already knew I was worthy. So it all made sense. But then it was just working on my mindset every single day. The more you grow yourself, the more you're going to grow your mindset. And we attract exactly as we are, exactly who we are. So what we attract to us right now, and the money, whatever money you're attracting to you right now is really who you are. It has nothing to do with your ability to make more money. It's just, you get to grow yourself. That's the thing. You get to. It's not a have to. It's I get to change my circumstance. I get to grow myself. I get to grow my money mindset. I get to grow all of these things to benefit, oh my God, the ripples of, and we create ripples in our world. Like, even if it's just the grocery store man that you get to be friendly with, and then he goes home to his family, and then he's a jolly old guy. Like, we create ripple effects every single day.
Yeah, 100%. And I do truly believe that, when it comes to manifesting money and things, we're not just manifesting money, right? Like, we're manifesting the people who give us the money. We're manifesting the people who bring the money to us. We're manifesting so many other things other than just the money itself. And so it's, who do you need to be the magnet that other people want to invest in? Like, who do you need to be? Because I mean, anybody can make the money that they want to, but there's a reason why people invest highly in certain people versus other people that are always sitting there kind of struggling, and they're not making the money they want. And then you kind of look at the energy between the two people, and you kind of shift, and you're like, well, what's the difference? It's, well, one's a magnet and one's repelling. And that it really comes down to, like, who are you? Like, who are you at your core? And what's the vibe and the energy you put into the world? How do you celebrate? How do you show up for money? How do you celebrate and love on the people around you? How do you make other people feel in your space? Like, it's such a beautiful thing when you can start to realize, like, yes, the money changes your life, but to get the money, to attract in the clients, to be the magnet, this is something that you can truly control, and you can shift into, and you become, like you said, it's through your confidence. It's becoming courageous by being brave, by doing these really crazy things. So what are some of the scary ass leaps that you have maybe taken that have allowed you to become this woman? I know you're like, because there probably is a lot, but I know we've kind of already mentioned a couple, but maybe some poke out at you, because I know a lot of women, they get so scared of having to take these leaps, whether it's investing, it's moving, it's leaving something behind to start something new. And they get so scared to do it because of this fear of the unknown. But this is what's allowed you to create a 6-figure business.
Yeah. Woo, okay, leaps. I'm like, which one do you want to talk about?
Where do we begin?
Where do we start? And I wonder if I was set up for this, because I've always been a high achiever. And even as a child, I did competition dance. So I've always been that person that's like, okay, I want to win first. I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to go do a solo. Like, I'm going to go sing in a competition. Like, I've done a lot of things. Yeah. So stretching in my comfort zone. Okay. It's hard for everyone. Fear always creeps up. Okay. If you don't believe that, then you're lying to yourself. Everybody feels fear. Amen. Everybody feels it. Like, it's just knowing how to feel it and do it anyways. And that is a skill that gets to be learned. And that's the best thing about confidence, is that it is a learnable skill. It is not something that some people are born with and then other people are just not. No. You get to learn it. Yeah. And gosh, some of the biggest leaps. I mean, I wasn't shy to investing in myself in this business because I invested in myself in my first business. So that was normal to me. Investing made sense. I was like, this is a business decision. It's not a heart decision. It's not a head decision. It's a business decision. And so I knew I could do that, but it still stretched me. Let's be honest. I've never invested quite that much for starting out. So that was a big one. I mean, moving across the country, I mean, choosing to leave my abusive relationship, that was a huge leap, not knowing what to do, not knowing how it was going to work out. Literally, I mean, I feel like even leaps that were put on to me. So even last, and it's so crazy because I look back now and I was like, I am always supported. And that's a belief system that I want everybody to envelop and just, it is now yours. I am always supported. Because I remember last year I was with this nanny family and I love the kids. So I love kids so much. So I'm like, I want a nanny all the time. So sometimes I still do for date nights and things for fun because I love kids. And I was with this family I was working part-time for them and I was with them for probably over a year. And it was around Christmas and I was leaving for over a month. And my business was taking off. It was doing good, but it wasn't where I needed it to be able to afford all of my bills. And I remember her telling me that they didn't need me at the first of the year. And so I was going to come back to Denver without any jobs, without any of my jobs. I manifested losing my job to show me that I was ready. And so I didn't find another job. And I just made it happen. So the leap to making it happen and deciding that I am my source and I am an infinite power inside of me and I need to ignite this fire and I can do this. I had already signed clients, but I wasn't quite stacking the income that I wanted to be stacking. And then like a few months later, I had my first $17,000 month, and so I never looked back. But that was something that was kind of put onto me that I then chose to be victorious in and make it happen and run as fast as I can and just do what I could. That's why you have to find the evidence that you were always supported and that you were never alone in any of this entire journey, because when shit pops up, because life throws you curveballs whether you expect it or not. And when shit pops up, you can have your moment, okay? We need to feel the feelings. Feel what you need to feel. Take a couch day if you need to take a couch day, but wake up the next day and say, you know what? I'm going to write down 10 reasons of where I was supported before and how I did not, like, the world did not end, right? The world did not end. You lived another day. Everything was fine. You were able to push through it, whatever it is. And then you have the evidence. I suggest writing it down because things are scarier in our heads than they are on paper. And when we have things on paper, then we can read them and be like, I'm a freaking badass. Look at all this.
Yes.
Look at how much I'm supported. And it's amazing.
100%. Oh my gosh. I agree with you so hard on this. Like for real. I don't know if there was anything else you had to say on that because I don't want to cut you off, but
I was just in the groove.
You're like,
I don't know.
I'm like on fire, but I'm
totally like, what was the question?
I was just like, I love that you snort because I totally snort when I get going.
I was just in the groove, so we just talked. I don't know. My heart is fluttering, so I know I'm feeling the passion because every time I feel my heart just on fire, I just know that it's just a message that needs to be heard.
And that needs to be heard. And that's something that I'm so passionate about sharing because I'll look at my whether it's my clients are like, okay, well, I'm at this income or I'm at this right now, or they're so scared to invest or scared. I'm like, look, right now, you're not living in a box. You are supported. You have food in your fridge. You have a wonderful relationship. You're loved. You have care. You have care in your life. Like you have love in your life. Care in your life. Who says that? You have love in your life. Family, right? You have all of these things, right? It's very easy for us to focus on what we don't have. But if you look back on it and you're like, okay, I did struggle this month, but I'm still okay. Like I'm not dead. Like I'm here. Right. I'm alive. Like I'm breathing. Everything's okay. You can look in so many ways and see that you are supported. And if it was a breakup, okay, so you had a breakup. That was shitty. That fucking sucked. Okay, but where are you now because of it? You were supported in that moment. Like I look back all the time and I'm like, even though that, the breakup that I had was the hardest thing that I had ever went through, and that was something that I didn't really internally think that I would ever get through, especially at that time, because I feel like it took me like a year and a half to get over this person and this time in my life because I was young and it was a time before
it takes time.
My current boyfriend and who I'm with, baby daddy here. But it's like I look back on it now and I will still say, like, thank fucking God he followed his gut and he knew what he was doing, because I'm so grateful for him for like throwing my life into a loop and leading it that way, because if I hadn't done that, I would not be here right now in so many aspects, like financially, with my business, like who I am. Like, I would not be the person I am right now because I would never have felt allowed to shift into this space. I would never have allowed myself to feel like I was worthy of this. I would have always stayed at the level that he was living his life at, because he didn't have a lot of ambition. His family did not embody, I don't want this to come off a bad way, but they had their own struggles, they had their own things, and I would have stayed at that level. I remember all the time I'd be like in university, I'd be studying for a final, and some way, somehow I'd always be in the library fighting with him over something, almost never passing my exams and struggling all the time because of the emotional abuse and the emotional back and forth over things. And I just look back and I'm like, even though that fucking sucked, like if he didn't do that and we didn't break up and we didn't like separate in part ways, like I would not be who I am right now 10 times over. And so we are always supported in every single dark
100%
every single time.
Yeah. And you have to, like I said earlier, we don't always know why we go through things, and you may never know why, but looking back, I am who I am today because of all of the things I went through. Whether I wanted to go through them or not, to be honest, I would have rather just skip forward to some of those. But that's so, so true. And find the support. Know that you're not alone, and welcome it into your life.
Yeah, 100%. I couldn't agree more. Like, you just have to welcome and support. You have to be open to receiving, like whether that is through friends and family, if it's money in times of need, if it is just being guided into your next best step, if it's from God, if it's from the universe, like whatever it is, like you have to be open to receiving it. If you think you have to do it all on your own, like you're going to struggle. You're always going to feel like you are alone in this journey. But if you can just open up your heart and see, like, whether it's a situation or if you need to ask for something, if you need to receive, like, just be open to being supported, and everything will start to shift for you. We don't have to do it all on our own.
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. And it's so funny because this was honestly where I was like shifting into in this exact moment. And what I wanted to talk about, because you were talking about how you were in an abusive relationship, and it's so unfortunate that so many women have been in this space and have experienced this. But it became a light for you in a lot of ways that probably, again, didn't feel like it at the time. So how did it create possibility for you? How did you allow yourself to kind of shift out of the space of being in a space where you very well could have been, and maybe you were at the time, like, why is this happening to me? Like, this really sucks. Like, this is the worst moment in my life. I did not plan this. I did not look for this. Why is this going on for me right now? And how did it become this beautiful light and possibility that shifted you into becoming the woman you are right now?
Because sometimes I'm going to be honest, it's really hard for me to think back on exactly how I was feeling in that situation. And I don't know, because your brain is always trying to protect you. So I don't know if it's just the protection aspect of, hey, like, that was not a fun time. Like, let's not go back there or what. But I do remember thinking, like, how did I attract this to me? Like, how did this happen? Like, this is not what my life is supposed to look like. I just moved across the country. And so I do remember feeling that way at some point. But here's the thing I also knew within myself was that I was deserving of more than that.
Yes.
And that wasn't really who I was. And so even though I didn't know the person that I've always meant to be, like, the most beautiful thing about moving out here and finally figuring out who I am is becoming the version of Brooke who here I am today. Like,
hello.
If none of that stuff happened, it wouldn't have happened. But I think I had that tugging in my heart that this is not me living to my fullest potential. And honestly, I started my personal growth development when I was 22, when I started that first business. So I was a few months in to my personal growth at that time. So, which was good, which probably helped me leave my situation sooner than I would have without it, to be honest. So that is always a great thing. But I remember reading The Law of Attraction, the actual book, not by, not The Secret, like the actual Law of Attraction. book. I can find the author. I'm like, I don't even know who it was, but I can totally find it. And I started reading that and I was like, oh my God, my mind is blown. This makes so much sense. And I was like, oh my gosh, holy cow. And so I think that ignited this whole little fire inside of me of just knowing that I've always known I was meant for something huge. I always knew I was meant to impact the masses. I just didn't know what avenue that was going to be. Like my little girl dream was to be Celine Dion's backup dancer.
Girlfriend, we both want to get up there. Celine Dion, she's my girl.
I was like, no, that's really, like, people would ask me what I want to do. I'd grow up and I'd be like, I'm going to be Celine Dion's backup dancer. Like, that's what I'm doing. And then I wanted to be on Broadway. And then I wanted to just be a traveler. I was like, I just want to travel and not do anything. My mom was like, Brooke, it doesn't work that way. You do have to have money to travel. And I was like, oh yeah, like to actually travel the way you want to. I mean, you can be a nomad in different ways, but and then then going to art school and impacting people with my artwork, and then starting a business and being in MLM companies are great because they do have that impact, and you are able to have an influence over people. And then the next thing I know, I was like, coaching is the answer. And it wasn't that I shifted so many ideas. I think everything led me to what I was meant to do, which is this. Yeah,
because I found this to be true for myself when I switched out of or I transitioned last year out of network marketing into this, and it was hugely in part because just everything fell away, like literally within 24 hours, lease gone, downline and upline was just like falling apart and like betraying me, and all this shit was going on behind the scenes and behind my back for 24 hours, and you're sitting there being like, what the fuck? Like, what is happening right now? Like, I need to turn the world off. Like, I don't know how we're going to pay rent, next month. I have no idea what the heck is happening. But when you tune in and you realize like things are falling away, so then you can step into what is meant for you. I had this bird's eye view of everything, and I was like, literally every single thing that I have been doing for my team, that I have been doing in my business for the past 3-4 years, I can do on a different scale for many more people in a totally different way. Like, I don't have to do it just in a network marketing company. I don't have to just do it for free, for so many people for next to nothing, basically for free is what I mean, is because like you're not really making a lot for how hard you're working and how many people you're helping.
Right.
And, I totally had I felt that I had a successful business as well, and I had moved up and I had done all these things, but it was just like I knew that there was more out there, and I couldn't put my finger on it. I didn't feel like I had the confidence to go out on my own and to be my own brand. And then when I look back on it, I'm like, literally because people will ask me, right, well, what are your credentials? What school did you go to? What did you do? And I'm like, girlfriend, like a life experience. Like,
people ask you that?
Oh, sometimes.
I was like, no one ever asked me that.
I don't get it a lot, but some people will ask me, and it's not even just like to hire you. I need to know. It's, well, what did you do? How did you get there? Did you take did you get certifications and stuff like that? And I mean, I know some people need to do that, and if they want to do that, like
totally.
There's nothing wrong with it. The frameworks are beautiful. However, for me, I looked back on it, and it's just like all the things that I taught in my network marketing company, in sales strategy to my team, the life coaching, the growth that I had done, all the events, the seminars, the things that I had absorbed and taken on, in health coaching, in personal training, and in group fitness, like all of the conversations, all of the things that I had done, I was just taking it from that avenue and doing it in a different way. But it was like that all those things had built me up to become the coach that I am now. And I just had to, like we kind of talked about at the beginning, you have to have the confidence to step out of one thing and to kind of step into another and know that it's.
And knowing that doors close in your favor.
Yeah.
And sometimes it sucks. Like even just friendships or people who are in your life. And I truly believe that people come into your life for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. And whatever that is, that was the purpose. And it's knowing that that's the purpose and that's okay. And then the door closes and another one's about to open, and it's going to be even better. Like if it wasn't for me, really, I think that's exactly what I did. As I dove into my personal development massively after leaving. I mean, after I couldn't get out of bed and I was miserable. I was really depressed. I was really in a place that I was like, but I knew I didn't want to stay there because that was not fun. I had so much pain for where I was that I was like, I will do anything to get out of where I am right now and how I feel right now. Yeah. And that was the light, I think, inside of me, was knowing that I was finally given the opportunities to step into the version of myself I've always been meant to step into.
Yeah. And the thing too, that I think is beautiful and that I hope, you know, everybody kind of picks apart there if they don't, is that nobody gave you that power. Like nobody gave you that permission. Nobody said, no one like pulled out the covers right from you and said, okay, Brooke, like it's time to wake up. It's time to get your life going. It's time to, you're made for more. You're made to do all these beautiful things. Like it's time to, you know, kick your own booty. Let's do the damn thing. And you're like, you gave yourself that power. And that's something that I hope everybody really recognizes, is that nobody can give you that power other than you.
Yeah.
You have to be the one saying, I deserve more. I'm worthy of more. I am made for more and I can fucking do it. Like, yes, you're going to have days. Even you can have the highest income level months and you can still have days where you want to stay in bed. You can still have days where people shit all over you. You can have like,
absolutely
right. Like all this shit can still happen, but you have to give yourself the power to be more than what's going on.
Absolutely. I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because you're so right. And that's the same thing about, especially because I know a lot of probably entrepreneurs listen to this podcast.
Yeah.
Someone did not, the entrepreneur train did not come to your door, honk at you and say, okay, are you coming? Like you chose this. You chose this. And that's the thing. Why would you not run with full power and grit and resilience towards your dreams? If you chose this, why would you not do that? Why would you not see what could happen? Why would you not put yourself out there? Why would you not try all the things? The thing I talk about so much is we have to go back to the place in our business when we first start, when we are too dumb to doubt.
Yes.
That's not an insult, but it's a literal, like, go back to the place where someone told you to do something and you didn't even think about it. You're just like, okay, I'll do it. Okay, yeah, I'll do that. Okay, I'll do that. Okay, I'm going to do this. And you just tried all the things. Yeah. And you were just excited and you were running after it and that energy was high and you were like, yes! Like action will always bring you back to excitement, and excitement is always the energy you want to be in. And so it's asking yourself, where have you been doubting? Where have you been doubting? Where have you been second guessing? Where have you been overthinking when you really just shouldn't have? What I find with my clients all the time is that they make it so hard on themselves.
Yeah. I'm like, girlfriend, you know, it can be really easy, right? They're like, it can be. I'm like, yeah.
I'm like, why are you making this so hard? Why don't you just do this little shift? And they're like, what? That's possible. And I was like, yeah, of course. Like, do that. And it's going to be incredible. And we have to go back to that place of excitement and being too dumb to doubt, where we don't overthink everything. We don't let fear creep in. Like fear, it's okay. Feel the fear. Like feel it and be like, you're squishy. Okay. Like that's
you're squishy. I love that you made fear a squishy thing. I'm obsessed with that.
I just felt like it sounded good.
I love it.
It sounds like one of those slimy things that you're like, you can't really stop touching, but you want to stop touching because it's kind of gross. Or you're like, but it's like, leave it alone. You don't have to touch it. It's like enticing, so it makes you want to touch it. You don't have to touch it. You could feel it and be like, interesting. And then tell your brain, I'm not listening to you. You can create your own thoughts. It only takes 17 seconds to completely change your energy. That's it.
Yeah.
17 seconds.
It's literally a moment. I try to explain it to people that it's like turning on a light. Like the light doesn't think to turn on. It doesn't think to turn off. Like you flip the switch and it just does it. Like we think it takes a lifetime. We think it takes months. We think it takes so much time to make the shifts that need to shift, I guess. Yeah. And it really comes in a second. The actual shift takes a second. It takes one single moment. It's all the thinking about it. It's the fear. It's the comparison. It's the, well, what if? We sit there, we think about it for so freaking long. And then, but when we actually make the shift, it takes one single second. It takes one moment. And that is such a beautiful point. And I love that you mentioned about going back into this space of, you know, in the beginning, because when you think back on it, when you first started your business, when you got into entrepreneurship or you started your MLM company, whatever it was that you started to do, and you jumped right in, at that time, you weren't in a million Facebook groups. You were not, your feed did not have like a ton of people in the company. You didn't have all these higher end, you know, people that were either higher up in the company or maybe making more than you were in your business. You didn't have all these people on your feed, and you weren't in these groups, and you weren't in this space. And so if these people did not exist, if you just go back into that space, you never experienced comparison. You just had this amazing feeling of, I can do the damn thing. Like I can do anything that I want to. And there was no ceiling on you. There was no limitations. We put this shit on ourselves. And it's crazy.
Well, and it's thinking about what is the limitation that I'm putting on myself right now? Yeah. What did I believe when I first started, and what do I believe now? And realizing the hardest part about being entrepreneurs is 6 inches between your ears. That's it. And so when we master that, and guys, it's always a work in progress. It is always something that you actively work on. It's not like a one day you do it and then you're fixed. You're like, yay. Like it's something that you actively work on. But it's like asking yourself, okay, like what is it that I now believe? But what did I believe in the beginning? Did I believe that I could absolutely do all of these things? And why do I no longer believe that? What happened? Yeah. What am I providing as evidence? And how can I derail that? Throw it in the trash, put it in the dumpster, watch it walk away, like what needs to happen for you to go back to that space? Because that is a really good space. Because I mean, every time I started either one of these businesses, I was like, I'm ready to run. Like my first business, I had checklists I could fill out. And I was like, I get to earn free stuff if I do these checklists. Hell yes. Like I was like, I'm going to do that. I like free stuff. Cool. And like, even in this business, I was like, this is what I meant to do with my life. I'm going to do literally everything. What can I do? Okay, I can work on this. I can do that. Okay, I need to do that next. And I just kept moving forward.
Yeah.
And that's the thing we need to realize that we need to do is we need to keep moving forward no matter what.
Yeah. Just keep focusing on what's coming and what you're stepping into and what's next versus what went wrong, who didn't like my post, who could have commented more, all of the little itty bitty things that really just pull you back into dimming your light, dimming your energy. Keep focusing on what freaking lights you the hell up.
And all it takes is one.
That's
the next person you talk to could be the answer to everything, whatever that is. Your next client, your next team member, your next person who gives you like a novel. Like oh my God, she was amazing. She gave me a novel of a testimonial without even knowing me. And like maybe it's just a little bit of belief that you were like, whatever that is, all it takes is one person.
Yeah.
And I want you to think about this next time you try to lay down your dream is whose dream is tied to yours. That if you lay your dream down, will never receive their dream because you never went after yours.
That's powerful. That's really powerful. Like, yes, girl, it fucking is. I love it. It's so true. And I hope you guys write that shit down, pause this, back it up, and go write it down.
I always tell my clients, they're like, oh my God, that was so good. I'm like, I'm really brilliant. I like really believe that, but I also want it to be like laughter because it's really funny, but I'm like, but really, I am really brilliant. But it's also like, I want it to be like, it's like laughing too. I'm not trying to be like, oh my God, I'm the best thing in the planet. Like I shit just as much as everybody shits too, right? We're all human. But I'm like, yeah, I'm really brilliant. I love when I say like really profound things because I'm like, that just came out of my mouth. Yes.
Yes. Like, hell yeah, it did. But this is the confidence. And when you step into your light, you step into your confidence, you're like, yeah, I'm fucking brilliant. You give permission to your clients and all these other women to say, I'm fucking brilliant too. Hell yeah, I am.
Yeah, absolutely. Right? And like the haters are going to hate. And I'm just like, honestly, like I remember being in a place in my business where I wish I had more trolls. I was like, when I have more trolls, I'm going to be more successful. And I was like, I wish I had more trolls. And then I had more trolls and I was like, why did I wish that I can be successful?
Right. Like, wait. I'm okay without the trolls. Like,
why did I make that rule for myself? That's another thing we can look at is what rules or prerequisites. So hard word to say. Did you put on your business or your success that you felt like you had to do to hit the level you want to hit?
Yeah.
There's no prereqs. There's no one thing that you need. There's no magic pill. It's just making the decision, doing the work, and showing up every single day, even in the hard days, right? Like, no matter what, knowing that where you're going is bigger than what you're going through. Always.
Fucking men. Because it's not going to be an easy journey. Like, we're like, yes, we're talking big things. Like, we're talking 6-figure businesses, 5-figure months. We're talking big, scary, like, we're talking a lot of like really crazy shit that we've both done in our lives. But like, don't get it confused, you guys. Like there have definitely been hard days. There have been days where we have struggled. There have been days where there have been the trolls and where you've questioned things. But it comes down to always being so much more focused on where you're going and who you know to be true that you are, that you don't stay in that space. That like, yeah, it happens, but you're not like, oh my goodness, this is here to derail me. This is here to throw me off. I should probably throw in the towel and quit everything. It's okay. I hear you. I see you. I feel you. What's next? Like, let's keep fucking going.
Yeah. 100%. Because it's going to happen.
It will.
And to think that it's going to be rainbows and butterflies and you're just going to poop sparkles, it's just not.
Like, it'd be great. It'd be great, but that shit doesn't exist.
Also, it's knowing that every obstacle is just making you something bigger. That's why, like, honestly, I got this tattoo. I have a tattoo of an arrow. I got this tattoo because there's this like saying or this phrase, and it just reminds me of the fact that I am resilient and unstoppable, that I'm never going to give up. I've always been unstoppable towards what I want. And it's really cool actually seeing your dreams become your reality, but they don't become your reality if you set them down. They don't. But when you feel like life is pulling you backwards, you have to remember that you have to pull an arrow backwards to hit the bullseye.
Love that.
Right? And so you shoot and you just keep going. You're going to hit the bullseye. You're going to get better every time. So that's why I got this beautiful arrow. I got it after I was in Sedona on a retreat last year. And I was like, yes, obviously I need a new tattoo.
Obviously.
It's like, yeah, obviously I need a new tattoo. Story of my life. I'm like, obviously I need this.
I love it.
But really it's knowing that everybody feels this, and any feeling that you've ever felt where you feel like you are alone in that, you are not. If we got a group of people together and asked who here has ever felt whatever your feeling is, I can guarantee almost everybody raises their hand.
Yeah.
And you're not alone, and you have to keep going. You know, going after your dreams is not easy. If it was, then everybody would do it. Everybody would do it.
Yeah.
Right? Everybody's not doing it. People give up. So you get to be the one who doesn't give up and shows other that it's possible for them to. That's why I'm here. That is my mission. It's not for me. It's for everybody else that I'm supposed to impact. Is the influence that I'm leaving. It's the legacy that I'm leaving. It's the ripple effect that I'm making in the entire world. That is why I'm here, because I made a promise in my prayer that I would no longer allow people to struggle the way that I did. And I would do everything in my power to help them not struggle, to get out of where they are and to actually fulfill what they want in their life and make their dream their reality. That is why I'm doing this scary shit. And I'm moving across the country and I'm moving back home and I don't want to leave Colorado. That's why I'm doing the scary shit and buying the one-way ticket over to Europe and traveling full time. Yes, it's exciting, but it's also really scary and terrifying. And I don't know what's going to happen. And I don't totally know what my income looks like in the new year yet because that's so far away. Like, you know,
100%.
But I'm doing it. Yes, because it's always been my dream, but I'm doing it to show other people that it's possible.
Our businesses are not about us, you know, and yes, like when you create certain things, it's about your intuition. It's what you feel called to do. It's there are parts of it that are about you, but in the bigger picture of it is if you're showing up to do your business just for you, you're going to struggle because it's not about you. Like you're here to serve so many other people. You're here to be the vessel. Your body is a vessel. It is a container. It is it's the messenger of what is so much bigger, right? Your purpose is not yours. Like your purpose is given to you by something so much freaking bigger than you. And It's up to you to lean into whatever your gut and your intuition is telling you is your next best steps. Then you can lean into it. You can just let the message flow out of you. You can just say what's on your heart, be whatever it is that you need to be, and to say what it is that you need to say. And then that's when shit really starts to ripple and change and affect the world in big, massive ways. And when the fear starts to, you know, dissipate and come down and your faith gets so much freaking bigger, it's because you're not focused on me anymore, me. You're focused on everybody else you're about to impact and shift and change. And that is, so I just love that you just went on like the most beautiful like tangent about that, because I could not agree more with everything you just said.
I know. I was like, man, you guys need to be taking notes.
It's just when it flows through
Brilliant.
you, it just flows through you. And I can guarantee you everybody's going to be taking notes. They're going to be screenshotting and sharing this all over Instagram stories. I'm like, I'm taking notes again and again and again, and you should, because there's so many good, juicy nuggets in here. And so I'm just curious if there's any final advice, love, or juicy little tidbits that you have for these women, whether they're in network marketing, they are thinking about starting a business, they are an entrepreneur already, they're a coach, whatever area it is that they are, you know, what kind of final advice do you have for these babes, these women, to not only have the life that they desire, but to shift into the income that they desire?
Yeah, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is knowing that if there is a tugging on your heart, it is there on purpose. So do not ignore it. It is there. It is there for a reason. And your intuition is saying, hello, this is the direction we need to go. And don't ignore it. But also know that you are worthy. You are worthy exactly as you are, because you are breathing, because you are alive, because you are you. And you are amazing as you are. You don't need any more things. You don't need any more trainings. You don't need to become better. You know way more than you think you do. Stop diminishing your power and actually ignite it.
Yes.
And step into the person you've always meant to be, because when you step into that person, beautiful things happen. And I truly believe when you listen to the tugging, when you listen to that tugging, and when you say, okay, even though it feels scary and it feels weird and I'm not sure if I really want to do this, but I want to do this, I don't know. And you do it and you listen to the tugging, magic comes together. Things fall into place. Things always fall into place, and you were always supported. Always.
Always, always, always.
Truly. Yeah.
I love this. That was the perfect way to kind of conclude it. So the last question that I'm going to ask is, what does being a wealthy babe mean to you?
And that gave me goosebumps. I'm like, I have goosebumps now. Okay, what does it mean to me? I think it's just really, truly living with your full power, asking yourself, what does the powerful Brooke go do today? Use your name in that. But like for me, it's like, okay, what does the powerful Brooke go do today? And how can I live my life to the fullest every single day? Whatever that means. Whether that means going and getting some coffee, or whether that means like going and getting a mani-pedi in the middle of the day. It's just living my life, saying yes to all of the things that my soul desires, no longer limiting myself, and just making magic happen every step of the way.
Oh my God. I love that. Saying yes to soul's desires. Like, just no fucking limitations. Doing whatever sets your heart on fire. Just do it. Just stop putting that ceiling on you, and that creates wealth. I love that so much. That was so beautiful. So, Brooke, thank you so freaking much for being on this episode and sharing so much of your heart, your energy, your brilliance, your expertise, your knowledge, your story, just like everything under the sun. This was so powerful. It was so beautiful. It was so honest, so open. And I just know that these babes are going to love and adore it. And I know you've already passed on all of your links to me, so I'm going to throw them in the show notes. But is there anywhere right now, if they're listening, they're like, hey, I just need to get my hands on her, like right this second, and they can't even wait to get into the show notes? Is there anywhere that they can find you really quickly?
Yes. Okay. I'm going to give you two places, because one, I have the podcast Fiercely Unstoppable. I will give you that link for that too.
Okay.
But Fiercely Unstoppable, the podcast, oh my God, it's gonna knock your socks off. People are loving it. And then also, because you need to see my pink hair and you actually need to see my energy, and you'll love the podcast even more, is finding me on Facebook and joining my Facebook group, Fiercely Unstoppable Entrepreneurs, because it's the bomb in there, obviously. So just find me, stalk me, love me, come love on me, message me. I love connecting with people. So I think those are the best places, though. Absolutely.
Amazing, amazing. But you guys, like I said, there's a ton of links that are going to be in the show notes for you. So make sure you go check there. Don't skip over them. Go find them and go connect with her.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Well, thank you guys so much for listening. Thank you for downloading. Thank you for listening. Thank you for loving on it. And as always, go rate and review, and make sure to screenshot this shit and put it on your Instagram stories, tag us in it so we can love on you and we can appreciate you, and just kind of be able to post that out into the world, and also give you some love and recognition for all this growth that you're doing for yourself. So anyways, you guys, thank you so much again for listening. We love you so much. We appreciate your time, and I'll see you in the next episode.